Welcome to the Panic Button. I'm Nina. Today, we're reacting to some shit. Okay, so let's go with Candace Owens first. She's debating a fella about trans women and women in blackface. And I like Candace Owens. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff she says, and sometimes how she acts, but everyone has their own opinion. She says some crazy shite sometimes, and that's just to be expected when it comes to Candace Owens. But yeah, let's see what she has to say.
Let's not conflate it with being black. Otherwise, you'd have to defend Rachel Dolezal.
Well, there's no. Well,
would you defend it?
There's no defending crazy. That's crazy. But
why is that crazy?
Hold on. Because she was a white woman that said she was black.
Yeah, that's a man saying he's a woman.
But let's back up.
If you're gonna say that a man can just be a woman, why can't Rachel Dolezal just be black? You got to be consistent.
Because she's white.
Okay, because it's a man.
No, but hold on. I get it.
I'm right.
I get it.
I'm right.
No, I don't agree. And this is not a matter of right or wrong.
But it is.
Hold on.
This one is.
Let me tell you.
Why isn't Rachel Dolezal black?
Because she's a white woman.
Okay, because it's a male or it's a female.
Exactly, because they can't defend themselves. Being a white woman who puts on blackface and says that she's a black woman is the same as a man dressing up like a woman and saying that he's a woman. It's the same thing. And I think it's because women are easily manipulated. I think why people don't look at it the same way is because if more white people walked around like black people in blackface and stuff, they'd be getting attacked. I mean, you saw the white woman just say the N-word to the kid, right? And she's getting death threats, and people are saying, end her life, end her life. That was just a word. Can you imagine if all these white people just started going on blackface? That would be the end of them. But it's because you're insulting black people, right? But if you're a man dressing up like a woman, that's insulting to women. But women are like, oh, I feel bad for him. Let him get naked in front of me and shower with me in the locker room. They're so empathetic that they're retarded. I think a lot of women who go along with this are just absolutely retards. And is it their fault? Yeah, it's their fault. You can be suicidally empathetic and you can allow things to go on that shouldn't be going on. And you're going to be, you and your children are going to be the one that suffers the consequences eventually, because one day there will be a bad acting dude wearing a dress that's going to pull out his penis in front of your daughter. And it's like, oh, well, daughter, you should be really empathetic to the man who thinks he's a woman who pulled out his penis in front of you. He also identifies as a 13-year-old, so it's not even pedophilia. I mean, it just goes on to it's just messy. It's messy. It's nonsense. It's crazy. He can't even answer the question. Well, what's the difference? Well, she's white. Yeah, well, he's a man. So what's the difference? Well, it's a mental thing, I mean, people can identify how they want to identify. Why can't you identify? And then you go into this circular argument going back and forth when it's like they can't defend it because it makes no sense. The only way it makes sense is if you say it's like a mental disorder, but then you would also have to allow white people to have a mental disorder, white people to say it's also a mental disorder if you believe that you're black, right? It's still messy, but if this guy honestly thinks that a man who just declares himself to be a woman is a woman, then he has to, by his own logic, allow the white woman to identify as a black woman and paint her face black. That's the truth. It's absolutely, and I think this is the reason why so many people have left the Democratic Party, have moved away from the left, myself included, is because there's so many double standards and there's so much hypocrisy and there's like a two-tiered system of justice. Don't allow the white woman to wear blackface, but you can't allow the man to identify as a woman, go into a woman's locker room and pull out his penis, go into a woman's bathroom, go into the Olympics and compete against women. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And it's like, would you allow the white woman to be the head of the NAACP? She was the president of the NAACP. So she was, but that's because she had fooled people that she was a black woman and not a white woman. And she did it better than most men pretending to be women. Because she fooled a whole bunch of people pretending to be black. And people hate her now. But people don't hate the men pretending to be women. It's just like your hypocrisy is written all over your face. It's all over your logic. It's all over your words. It's absolutely disgusting. Like, it's like they can do it, but they can't. Why? No logical explanation. It's just constantly on repeat. Well, they're white. So why does it matter? It doesn't matter if he dresses up like a woman. What if the woman who pretended to be white, well, was the head of the NAACP? But what if everyone knew she was white? Would they still allow her to be president of the NAACP? No, they wouldn't. But why? You should be able to identify with how you feel inside, right? Unless it's color. Well, that's not fair. That's not fair to women. You can't be having these double standards. Because at the end of the day, your arguments will not be able to hold any water. People will wipe the floor with you with your own arguments because it doesn't make any sense. Men walking around like women and dominating women in sports and pulling out their penises in Planet Fitness locker rooms in front of little kids. Yeah, that's fine. Why? Because he thinks he's a woman. What does that even mean? Well, that's how they identify with their gender. That's their gender. They identify. That's their personality. Same thing with the white lady thinking she's black. But you can't say that, right? Can't say that. Can't do that. Can't be that. But the men can get away with it? Hold on. You mean the white man who's been getting you down for centuries is allowed to just step on all women of all colors? That's fine. Because we all know that all these trans women we see are just white dudes in dresses. The patriarchy is alive and well. Misogyny is still kicking women's asses by using women to kick their own asses. That's the world we live in. It's a fucking nightmare. It's a fucking hypocritical mess. And if people on the left want to continue going down this road of nonsense and crazy, don't be surprised when a whole bunch of real bad stuff starts happening. Or when the shit that you said comes back to bite you in the ass. Or maybe, your external hard drive that you have comes to bite you in the ass. I mean, there's a lot of things. Anyway, let's go on to the next one, because this guy's a bunch of fucking nonsense. Oh, here we go. So the trans activist known as Tarquin Sophie Brooks. So let's call him Bruce. So Bruce, get back here. So Bruce is trying to intimidate and provoke by disrupting an event and shoving cameras intrusively into people's faces. Oh, I wonder which one is the man. I'm going to say the hunchback of Notre Trans over here. The one with the hunchback being aggressive, the tall one, the brute, the one who obviously looks like a man. But this is fine, right? Blackface, not good. Womanface, good. Gotcha. Makes so much sense. Yeah, just as much sense as Hassan Piker nowadays. Well, since the beginning of time. Since his birth. So he's being rude, obnoxious, but this is what we've come to realize about trans people. If you're not on the left, pretty much everybody who hears trans people thinks of these crazy people. I mean, he's one estrogen shot away from setting fire to a Tesla dealership. But nowadays, you know what happens? You can't put them in prison because, oh, poor them. They're in between transition. They haven't completed their gender transition, so don't put them in a prison. And if you do, put them in the women's prison, even though they're rapists. This is fucking crazy. The fact that this is real is absolutely crazy. And these are the guys who are the face of trans women, the face of the trans activism. Nutty incels who are dressed like chicks who don't pass at all, who are abhorrent, violent, and absolutely gross people. They're not good people. Show me one video of a trans person doing something good that doesn't involve children. Okay, we want to keep that sex and that weird shit away from kids. So show me a video where a trans adult is doing something good for another human being. Because all I have seen for the past 10 years has been them being gross people, absolutely rude, nasty, and mean to everybody. I mean, look at him. He's towering over the black dude. What is this? Like, get out of here, hunchback, go. Oh, you're so gross. These people are just like, why are you here? Why are you here? You know what? You have no life. You have no friends. So this makes you feel like you're important. When you go home, you have no one. You have nothing but probably a poor cat who doesn't even want to be around you. I mean, it's just disgusting. Like, get a life. Get a life. Their life is just harassing people. You know what happens? You eventually reach 30. You eventually reach 40. You realize you have nothing to live for to begin with because nobody likes you because you're an asshole. Oh, here we go. Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg has given up on climate change hoax. On the climate change hoax. Now she's all in support of Hamas terrorists.
We are 3 activists, part of the Freedom Flotilla Coalition, which is a project that aims to break Israel's illegal and inhumane siege on Gaza and open up a humanitarian corridor to try to deliver desperately needed humanitarian aid.
Oh, you know what we should do? We should take them and actually put them in the Gaza Strip. Just put them right in there and see what happens to them. I would like to see what happens to them if they go to the Gaza Strip. You know, I don't think she would last very long there. I think she might have a few problems. You know, what happens when you put a bunch of, rich white kids in the Gaza Strip? You know what I've never heard? I've never heard them say, let's go to Gaza. Why? Interesting. The hypocrisy is very hypocritical. I mean, they look like fools. We know for a fact that these people are not poor and struggling. And they're supposed to be the face of the people who that are supposed to be helping people who are struggling, who are going through shit. I don't want some like rich kid with a college degree in social justice coming into my area trying to help me. Like, you don't know my struggle. You think you know my struggle, but you don't actually want to be here because you want to help. You want attention. Why not join the Peace Corps where you're faceless? No, we got to show our faces so everyone knows that I'm the good person. It's gross. These people are gross. Ugh. Like the hubris, that vanity. You know, you've been around people long enough and you could see the vanity ooze out of their pores. And this is them. You don't listen to them and say, oh, they're doing a good thing. You listen to them and you say, what is it and what's in it for you? You ain't doing this for anybody but yourself. You don't actually care about these people. Go in there and help them then. But you won't. You won't even try. Why? Because you're put and you're vain. And you only give a shit about yourself. You could say all the words that you want to, like a man identifying as a woman, but when it comes down to it, we all know it's fake. Are those women? Are those women? Hold on. I'm a little skeptical of the two on the right. But why are they kind of dressed up like Handmaid's Tale? Offred. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. You see the kid? Kid's like, what the f*** is going on over there? Mom, what's going on over there? They're having seizures, honey. They're just having seizures. Okay. Why are we here? We're supporting feminism, honey. Is that what supporting feminism is, Mom? Strokes? Seizures? They're identifying as dancers, honey, yes. This is like, you know what it reminds me of? The power of one, the power of many.